Hi guys, so the video you're about to watch was obviously filmed a few weeks ago, and as you can imagine, things have really sort of changed pretty drastically between now and then. We're living in a very different world, and suggesting that you go out to the store and buy all these things and cook a huge elaborate meal for many of your friends and their friends is not doable right now. But hopefully, it gives you something to look forward to. I still feel like there's a lot of value in the idea that you can sort of do this virtually or even alone or with your partner or whomever you're sharing a roof with. Just kind of reminding yourself that right now, I feel like we need every small reason humanly possible to celebrate anything. We hope you love it. Thanks for watching.
All right, go for it.
Passover, scene 1A, take 1. My Passover. I don't know. Hello, happy spring. Welcome to my Passover. I am Jewish. I'm half Jewish. My father's Jewish. And we grew up kind of half celebrating most holidays. Like we sort of celebrated Hanukkah and sort of celebrated Christmas and Passover and Rosh Hashanah. And for me, Passover is less about the feasting. It's not like you're filling your table with abundance and all this crazy stuff. It's more about the ritual. People read from a thing called a Haggadah. There are blessings, there are prayers. People share a lot. This is a very vulnerable holiday, which is probably also why I really love it. People get to talk about their feelings. For me, this is like the other day of the year that I would put in as much effort for something like Thanksgiving. So I have sort of taken the things that are traditionally present at a Passover meal and made them into really delicious salads and sides and mains to make a delicious dinner regardless of whether or not you're doing that proper actual Seder. Regardless of your religion, this is the type of thing that you will take joy in if you like the idea of cooking for people that you love. The menu can vary, but typically there's a few things present. There's matzo ball soup, which is one of my top 3 favorite foods of all time. Traditionally, there's a brisket. I'm making short ribs. There's a thing called haroset, which is an apple-y salad condiment. There'll be some whitefish salad, some chopped liver. People can put it on matzah. Also on the table, we'll have jammy eggs, pickles, because you have to. I'm not having a Seder plate, so there will be no parsley and horseradish, but I am making a salad with parsley and horseradish. See what I did there? This meal is already a lot. So for dessert, I didn't want to be baking. Does the world really need another flourless chocolate cake? Does the world really need another coconut macaroon? Probably not. But you know what the world does need is a really fun sundae bar. So I feel like that's exactly how I want to end this meal. Oh my gosh, I forgot the best, oh my God. Sorry, I forgot the best part of this whole meal, which is honestly, aside from the matzo ball soup, why I wanted to do this story is because I made a potato kugel. I made a crispy potato kugel, and it's essentially a giant latke. It's so good, and honestly, if you make nothing else from this menu, make this potato kugel. Thank you. So it's the day before Passover. Gonna go to the butcher, gonna get my stuff, gonna cook the short ribs, and I'm gonna make my broth for the matzo balls. And then if I have extra time, we'll see what else I get to. I'm wearing glasses because I ran out of contacts. I saw a play yesterday, and I was wearing the wrong contacts. I couldn't see anything. I hear it was great though. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. What can I get for you?
I would like 5 pounds of the beef short ribs, and can I get them as thick as possible? Those are beautiful, those are perfect.
Anything else?
Yes, and a chicken 4 to 4.5 pounds. Chicken fat, and then a livers. Livers and fat. The title of my forthcoming memoir. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you cut it into 10 pieces? Just chop it up.
Price of 4 pieces?
Thank you. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll do it.
Sure?
Yeah, so I can show you.
Okay.
Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
you.
I'll
Take
see you
care.
soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to season my short ribs. So these are big boys. And with any red meat, it's about a teaspoon of salt per pound, even with the bone. And then I'll give them a few cracks of pepper. There will be plenty of pepper elsewhere in this menu. All right, friends, it's time for our chicken soup. So for the chicken broth, I am a chicken soup purist. I like chicken, onions, garlic, carrots, and celery. Whoa. None of the stuff gets peeled, nothing gets seared, nothing gets roasted. We're making soup. And part of that journey is by throwing a bunch of stuff in a pot, covering it with water, simmering it and tending to it, grooming it, tasting it, seasoning it, loving it, bringing it into this world. And we're gonna break her down. You don't need a cleaver to do this, but you do need a very sharp knife. I always go through the breastplate first because it is the most tender of the cartilage. As for the breast, which has the bones in it and everything, I'm just gonna cut it in half like this, leaning on your knife to kind of break that cartilage. Cutting through the bone is annoying, but it is also gonna release a lot of flavor into your broth. So in here, we have our chicken, we have our vegetables. I'm gonna add some salt. You always wanna start with cold water. I'm just gonna start it on high, let it come to a boil, and then reduce the heat. Okay, so it's short rib time. I am not a huge fan of overcomplicating things like red meat, especially in a braise. So there's honey, there's soy sauce, there's apple cider vinegar. It's kind of like a sweet, a salty, and a sour all in one pot. Very good. So you are basically just looking for your pot to be very hot. And now I'm going to sear them. You always want to sear that side down. These will sear, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the garlic. This I will peel because as they braise, the paper is simply not gonna serve me. Oh, I'm wearing glasses today, which means that these onions are burning my eyeballs. People always ask me, how do you prevent onions from stinging your eyes? And I say wear contacts because that's what I do. When I was little, my mom would tell me that if you took a paper towel and you soaked it in water and put it in your mouth, that would help. But like, I'm not doing that. Oh. They're burned. I burned them a little. I'm not gonna lie. This is too dark. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. Don't walk away. It's not burned to the point where I would ever decide that I couldn't serve it. Also, once it's braised, you won't be able to tell that I burned it, but I just want you to know that I burned it. This is gonna affect me for a long time. All right, our short ribs are done. Getting it over all this fat. I'm actually gonna wipe this out because I did, as previously mentioned, burn a short rib earlier. And then gonna add our vegetables. We're gonna kind of just sear them lightly on each side. Ooh, my eyes. So these are getting kind of toasty in here, so I'm gonna add the honey now. You're just looking to cook it until you see it kind of bubble up and start changing color. And then we'll add our vinegar and then soy sauce. Why does the soy sauce come out? It's like this will, I'll see you in 5 hours when the soy sauce measures me what I need it to. We are gonna bring this to a strong simmer before adding our ribs back in. You can check out our stock situation. I'm not a big skimmer. You wanna cook this very low and slow. You want it to be gentle. The more fiercely you simmer a stock, the cloudier it becomes, and I wanna keep it like pretty clear and pure. Okay, so the short ribs are gonna go bone side up. You want the meat itself to be as submerged as possible. As these cook and braise, they are gonna shrink a little bit, so they will kind of settle into the pot. All right, good night. And I'm not even gonna think about them for 3 hours. Chopped liver. Something tells me this will not be the most popular recipe of this menu, but if you are at all interested in livers, chopped livers, livers that are chopped, then this will very much be for you. So I'm gonna use equal parts shallot and liver. Again, my eyes are burning though. Wow, I really am feeling for everybody who has complained to me about how many shallots they had to peel for that pasta. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is a disaster. Should I put a wadded up paper towel in my mouth? Oh my God. Ah! Oh my God, that is so real. Oh, I'm so sorry, America.
Martha Stewart says to light a candle.
I'll light a candle.
And it like burns
Okay.
the vapors.
Let's see, Martha. You guys, I will try anything except for putting a paper towel in my mouth.
Someone else is chewing gum.
All right, I'll chew some gum too. This is brutal. Let's see. Let's go. Let's give it a whirl. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. It doesn't really totally matter how thin or thick these are. You want just them to be the same thickness. We're gonna sear these in chicken fat. I love chicken fat. Look how like silky and oof, so nice. We're gonna leave them in there. They're gonna sizzle and be crazy. I think it's like a really nice snack just to have a tiny amount at the beginning of the meal. It feels very decadent and kind of fancy, even though it's not. And these I'm gonna still cook at a pretty high temperature. I'm looking for like almost fried frizzled shallot that is tender enough to chop. A little Applebee's flare up there for you. Loves to see it. So I'm gonna add some wine, about a 1/4 cup-ish. This is just to further soften them. They smell really very, very, very good. So the wine is pretty much all evaporated. They're soft, they're jammy. I'm gonna kill the heat, let them cool a little bit. Our livers have been chilling out, so they're cool enough for me to handle. And these, as described, just get chopped. They get chopped, it's chopped liver. And the taste of these, I mean, alone, right now, are they my favorite? No, not really. There's a reason that I'm mixing them with a lot of salt, pepper, wine, shallots, more chicken fat. And these you can kind of just run your knife through a few times. And then I'm gonna add another spoonful of chicken fat because it tastes so good. It's also just gonna help it like bind it. You wanna mix it really, really well. It tastes so good to me. And then we're just gonna let it sit in a container overnight. I basically have nothing left to do except strain the stock. I haven't touched it really at all. This has just been simmering gently, and I trust that at this stage it's very delicious. That is so good. Okay, so it's ready, and our short ribs are still braising. They'll be in there probably another 2.5 to 3 hours. We'll reheat it tomorrow and make our matzo balls and do everything else. And all the hard part is pretty much done. So I'm really excited to have you back tomorrow. Ready?
Yeah.
Was that a 6, Scott?
It is a 6.
All right, Passover. Scene 6A, take 1. Welcome back. It's the next day. Last night, after you guys left, I took the short ribs out of the oven. I literally just let them cool a little bit on the stove and I put them in the fridge. Same thing with the chicken broth. I strained it, I put it in the fridge. And I did a bunch of other stuff. I read The New Yorker, I had a real night. So all that stuff on the top is fat that we don't need or want to eat. This is a good way to get most of the fat. Who's a little excavator? Okay, that's actually pretty good. And this is just gonna chill out here because I need that space in the fridge. Hi. Ready?
We are ready.
For the most important part of your life? No, I don't wanna oversell it, but making a good matzo ball is extremely important. I believe that a matzo ball should be light and fluffy, and I think that it should be big enough to eat 2 rather than one big one. I think that the big ones are not cute and I don't like it. I don't want to eat them. I would say that the most superfluous thing in this whole recipe is the club soda. I feel like it's a bit superstitious. I'm not sure that the bubbles in this actually create a lighter matzo ball, but I feel like if I don't use soda water, I am setting myself up to fail. Like, I don't think that the 1/4 cup of soda water is gonna like create airiness in them, but just do it. Just use soda water. The key to a good matzo ball is the resting period. You really need to let this mixture rest at least 2 hours, and that's to let the matzo meal fully hydrate. Otherwise, no matter how long you boil it, it's gonna kind of always be dry and crumbly, and you want a very silky, kind of smooth, almost custardy texture at the end. It's time for our favorite segment, where we discover what kind of chicken is inside these eggs. Zealous Zena, thank you so much. Zealous Zena cranes her long neck for a full view of her pasture paradise. Wow, I love her. Thank you for your gifts, Zena. 5 eggs are gonna go right in here. I'm gonna add the fat. Okay, so all this will get mixed together and then the soda water goes last. The magic ingredient, which may or may not make a difference. Don't forget it. Okay, so it's very liquidy, very soupy. This will transform remarkably. Not only is the chicken fat gonna solidify, but the flour in the matzo meal is gonna hydrate and expand. So in 2 hours, it's gonna be firm enough for us to roll balls. You'll see. I'm gonna make my 2 sauces for our Sunday bar. My 2 sauces are gonna be like a chocolate shell and tahini caramel. Magic shell, it's essentially just chocolate and coconut oil. And what happens is that it's super, super liquidy, and then when it hits that frozen ice cream, it solidifies and becomes hard. Coconut oil, chocolate. It's equal parts with a hefty pinch of salt. Every time I unwrap these chocolate bars, I feel like Willy Wonka and what's the boy's name? Charlie. The boy. Coconut oil and chocolate are both hard. when they're cold and they're liquid when they're warm. You take something that's liquid and you pour it over something that's cold and it's gonna harden. Magic shell, it's magic. We're gonna make caramel. How exciting for you. I used to be a pastry chef. I used to make caramel on the daily. I became very good at it. Caramel in its most basic form is sugar. It's caramelized sugar. It's sugar until it's heated up and then it caramelizes. This is like that game Taboo where you can't use the word to describe what it is. I'm doing a great job. The way that I was taught to do it is from dry, which means I'm literally just putting sugar in a pan and I'm heating it until it melts. So it calls for a cup of sugar. I'm gonna start with a 1/4 cup of sugar. When you melt the sugar, it liquefies and then it's much easier to add the rest of the sugar. If I were to add the whole cup now, what would happen is it would clump up. Parts of it would start to caramelize and other parts would be raw. It'd be like a mound of sugar sitting on top of each other. And I don't want that. So I'm just gonna do it a little bit at a time, wait for it to kind of liquefy and then add more sugar. And that's our 1 cup of sugar. So that's where we want it. It almost looks like honey. And now I'm gonna add water. And that's obviously gonna make it, wow, do I look like I'm in Harry Potter? Never seen it. But it basically stops the cooking. I'm gonna add the tahini while it's still really hot. See, it's like already nice and extremely creamy. And then I'm gonna also give this a pretty big pinch of salt. Because this is mostly sugar, it needs a good amount of salt. So that's done, and then from there, I'll toast some sesame seeds, we'll crumble up some halva, we'll put out some salt, there'll be some chopped chocolate, some cocoa nibs, whatever. And that's that. I've pretty much done everything that I can do up until now to get ahead. I'd rather take this time and go do something fun, like go grab flowers. These are wild. I'm back. And now I'm gonna, the moment we've all been waiting for, I'm gonna make the matzo balls. And we're gonna do them now because they can actually sit while we do everything else. But this is where things get tricky because of the size of my burner. As you can see, my short ribs have been out. They're still solid. Nothing's happened there. I'm actually just gonna throw this in the oven now. Just again, to kind of get them out of my way. I'm just trying to essentially evenly warm them through and liquefy the broth, tenderize the meat, etc. So this is our broth from yesterday. It's been chilling and I'm gonna just have it on low. So remember last time we saw this matzo ball mixture? It was really soupy and liquidy. Check it out now. It is basically like Play-Doh or clay or a paste or matzo ball dough. You wanna roll these balls about the size of a golf ball? I've never golfed in my life. I honestly don't even know what a golf ball looks like. Is that about a golf ball? Pretty good. You do wanna make sure they are all roughly the same size. They'll sink and then they'll float and then they'll kind of just poach in the salty water until they're cooked through. They take about 10 minutes. Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. Becky, will you please set a timer for 10 minutes?
Yes.
Thank you. I learned how to make matzo balls mostly by eating a lot of matzo balls. Just, you know, you gotta get in the field. You gotta go in there. You gotta do the recon, do the research. Eat the matzo balls. I'm gonna stick these in the fridge just while I wait. They sort of dance around, it's very sweet. There's not like anything that I need to do. I don't even know I'm holding this, honestly. I'm like helicopter momming over here. I can just let them do their thing. They don't need me. In this pot is just broth. And when I add the matzo balls, it'll just be balls and broth. I don't believe in adding any vegetables until the very, very end. So I'll cut the celery now, but I'm gonna hold it until later. You want thin pieces because, again, we're not really cooking it. We're just gonna add it to the broth at the last minute. All right, these are coming out. They're going right into the soup. All right, I'm gonna cut the rest of the celery and cook the rest of these balls. I'll see you in a minute. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get my potato kugel going. I'm thrilled to present to you this potato kugel. Almost as excited as I was about those matzo balls. Basically think of this as a giant potato pancake. What is a kugel, Scott? That's a great question. It's a casserole, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's made with noodles and that tends to be on the sweeter side, but it's essentially like a very eggy baked custard dish. As the name would indicate, we're gonna start with potatoes. We are gonna peel and grate these. We are gonna grate this onion. I'm wearing my contacts today, so don't worry about me. No tears today. If you have a food processor with a shredding blade, please use it. I cannot find mine. I have no idea where it is. If you've seen it, call me. So I'm just gonna grate everything by hand on a box grater. I'll set up my little stash and get grating. Back to work. Careful. This box grater will get you. I am bleeding. I had a minor box grater injury, so Rebecca over here is taking over for grating. You're not wearing contacts, are you?
No.
Okay, well, good luck. Okay. Not unlike a latke, we want to wring out all of the water in these potatoes, which is a shocking amount. If you want to use a cheesecloth or a kitchen towel to do this, you can. I just use my hands. Oof, very strong. I have never had a potato kugel before, and I thought, okay, well, there's got to be a way to make a very delicious one because eggs, potato, and onion and salt together and fat, that sounds like an absolute dream. How much water do you think is going to come out of these potatoes? Well, we might have more than a cup. We might have like 2 cups. This is just for my own gratification. Oh my God, a full and exact 2 cups of water from those potatoes. Very cool to me. This serves zero purpose, but I think that is cool. This liquid left in those would give you a really soggy kugel that would never crisp up. So that's why we squeeze. Hashtag why I squeeze. Cool, potatoes. From here, it's literally salt, pepper, eggs, schmaltz. This can take a lot of pepper. 4 tablespoons of the fat are going in here. Eggs go in here. 2 more tablespoons of fat go in here. My short ribs are in there at a really low temp. I'm actually gonna take them out right now so I can bake my kugel. Ooh. That's gonna cook 10 to 15 minutes on the stove. We want the underside to be totally brown and crisp. That way when we put it in the oven, the top is gonna then get brown and crisp and the inside will cook all the way through. So just to recap, our short ribs are done. All that needs to happen is I'm gonna remove the lid and we're gonna put them back in the oven at 425 just to kind of heat them through, get the top really nice brown and bubbly. The matzo soup is done. It's ready, the balls are cooked, the broth is hot, it's seasoned. And then we have our parsley fennel salad. Slice the apples, and then make our carrots. So we're kind of like ready to go. Let's get a kugel update. We got a kugel update over here. It's getting very brown. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but it needs to go in a little bit longer. Wow. That is a helicopter, Gina. It's literally outside my apartment. Holy moly, Keanu Reeves is out there. It's Liam Neeson. We've been taken. I don't know any more movies than that. Carrots. These carrots are like cartoon carrots. This one especially is like a Bugs Bunny carrot. I don't like it. So these are literally just sliced carrots. Sounds boring, are delicious. These get gently sauteed in chicken fat. We are like just cooking them. We don't want them to be raw, but we are not trying to make them mushy. And I'm gonna add the garlic now and just toss them to coat. It tastes very good. She's golden brown. She's cooked through and tender. These short ribs, there's a bit more fat in here than I want there to be. So I'm gonna skim. They should be so crazy tender that like when you press on them, they just like, they give. I'm gonna put them back in the oven. So they're pretty much done. Rebecca's gonna make a whitefish salad, but I'm gonna make this salad. For this particular salad, I'm also using the entire bulb. Fawns, stem, bulb, the whole enchilada. This is our chicken liver from yesterday. Looks gross, but that's fine. We're gonna top it with herbs. Oh, she's gorgeous. My God, what you stunning creature. This is very funny to me. It just came in such a hilariously large box that I just had to have it. It's like a beautiful gift. It doesn't taste great. This matzo looks cooler though, but again, it's not all about looks, you know? Ooh, this one is maybe the nicest because it's toasty and thin. That's the one. This is just to have on the table, as is customary. everyone is here. Yes, everyone's here. Like I mentioned before, I wasn't wearing this cute outfit. Everything's pretty much done. The carrots are done, the soup's done, the short ribs are warmed through, the kugel's done. All I'm really gonna need to do is assemble the salad and cut my apples. But I'm gonna do that after the mozzarella soup because that's something that you bring to the table at first. It tastes so good. It's honestly my favorite food. It makes me so, so happy. Okay, mozzarella soup time, the most important time. Okay, so you're gonna top this with some dill and celery leaves. Hashtag lots of dill. Cheers, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad that you're here.
These are omelets, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna shave the apples and finish the parsley and fennel salad. It's apples dressed in honey. Again, this is kind of like the interpretation of haroset, which I find to be not delicious. And it's not something that I want to eat with short ribs, but I do want like a very tangy, sort of salty, sweet apple salad. That sounds great. Oh my God, thanks guys. Thank you guys so much. This is not uncomfortable at all. Thank you. All right, this is our kugel. We're gonna slice this into wedges. And this is just parsley, fennel, lemon, salt, pepper. Fresh horseradish, so you don't need a lot. A little bit does go a long way. And then short ribs. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. This is the most important part of this recipe. Do not forget to finish with lemon. I know there's vinegar in here already, but you really need the additional acid. That is so good. That's really good. These people are so lucky. And now I'm ready to sit down and eat Passover with my friends.
Are you down for the money?
Have you guys ever had a short rib? Oh my God. There's more for everyone. You're so welcome. Alison! This is so nice. You guys all came. I really appreciate it, and especially because I've been to now 8 people's here. I've been to 3 of your Passovers. So it's nice to like host one for you guys too. And one of my favorite things about it is that every time I come, there's at least 2 to 7 people I don't know. And it's like a really nice way to feel a little bit uncomfortable and also meet new people. So I hope that you guys did that tonight too. Anyway, just happy you're here. You're welcome. That's the most earnest thing I'll say in my whole life. Love you guys. Thank you.
L'chaim.